Daniel, congratulations again. Second time in the season, Manager of the Month. I know you'll play it down, but I think because it was November last time you won it, and now it's January, how much growth has there been in those 2 months, would you say?
Well, I could do with winning this trophy all 2 months, if I'm honest, because it means we have really good spells. Again, I'm not so much into individual awards in football, but it's always a recognition more or less for the club, for the team, for the staff, because it means more or less Manager of the Month means more or less best club, best team of the month, and this is a nice little recognition. Really for my players, for our staff members, for our whole club, because we've done fantastically during January, and for that I'm happy for them that we and I take this award in the name of all our staff members, my players, for the whole club. It's a nice little recognition, and I think especially in the recent months we showed a great consistency that brought us to a really good point average also in this league, and also some success in the cup so far. Yes, and long may it continue.
Is it fair to say that, having said that efficiency was still a bit of an issue, that this success, if you like, for this award has been built on the defence?
Well, we have also scored many goals. In terms of goal difference, we are on a really good path, and also we are one of the biggest threats in the offense in terms of goals. I think, especially also my offensive players share many goals. Yes, but we could make our life sometimes even a bit easier in being a bit more clinical in front of the goal. Sometimes it's also a bit unlucky, like in the last cup game. I think we hit 3 or 4 times the woodwork. So for that, yes, in terms of efficiency, we can even improve and have to improve. That's definitely for sure. But overall, we're on a good path.
Daniel, Louis Sinisterra's move to Bournemouth is being confirmed as permanent now, which is something that's been alluded to for a little while. Is there a sense of any disappointment that it didn't work out here? Because you did work with him for a little while, and also the fact that Leeds are going to get a good price for him. How healthy does that make the club going forward? Have you had those conversations with the board about the money that's going to come in now and what that means for the future?
Well, I think overall it's a good decision and beneficial also for our future. So many compliments for all our main people who were involved in the negotiations in the recent weeks, and more or less even in the recent month, because we wanted to have a perfect result for us, and I think we did, and it's definitely a good situation. I never made a secret out of it that I really rate Louis from his football point of view. He's a good player, good person. We wish him really all the best, good luck. But he also made it clear in the summer that he wanted to have this move, and I think it's then also good, and you have to accept that also. There are some good players who are playing for some other clubs. I think it's definitely also a decision we have to accept. We wish him really all the best, and there are no hard feelings at all. So fingers are crossed for his future. But I think for us as a club, it's definitely also the right decision, because it frees up also a bit money to do some work that we want to do in the summer, and also good to bring some new and fresh energy in, instead of a player who was already here and yes, perhaps it didn't work that great because obviously we were relegated, and then you wanted to have the move. I'm always a bit careful when once a player was here and wanted to go away, then to bring him back in. It's a bit like, we have a saw in Germany, so it's more like when you put the food into the microwave, it never tastes that well, like if it's freshly cooked. So for that, I'm not a big believer in such stories. So for that, I think, although he's a good player, he's a good character, we wish him all the best, I think it's beneficial for us and definitely the right decision.
Yeah, because you have this tight spirit and unity now in the squad that you've sort of built up. Does this week, in some ways, present the biggest selection headache for you, because you've given minutes to players that have really proved themselves in midweek? So is this one of the toughest weeks to pick an 11?
No, first of all, it's relatively easy, because the selection for the game day squad, there is more or less no selection, so all the players who are fit and available are in the squad. That helps already a little bit, and it's good. So when the players who were not shining that much in the recent weeks and recent months grab their chance and are there with a good performance, it helps us with the confidence, with the with the whole group, and we definitely need all the players. I'm not sure if you were also able to have a short look on what happens in terms of fixture lists for the what happens around the cup. I think it's also a bit crazy. So if we want to speak about this topic, just ask a question to this and I will answer. Otherwise I will put this bit to bed till we are in this situation. So we definitely need all the players, and we have a tight group, and we need all the players there with good performance, being in a good rhythm, and we definitely need all the players.
And of those players, you've got Connor Roberts available this weekend. What condition is he in terms of being able to force his way into this team now?
Well, it's always a bit tricky when you bring a player in January, because there's no preseason and there is not so much time on the training pitch because you have so many games. For example, since he arrived, I think he just had one training session together with the whole group, because we always had to split into smaller groups. So sometimes the players who didn't get much load during the game, they did a proper session on the pitch, but the major group who was involved with many minutes on the pitch just had a recovery session. So it's always a bit difficult for him. So just this afternoon will be just the second session where we are all together as a group. But what helps is his experience. So he's in a good age and knows this league inside out. Is also an experienced player, and that helps him also to settle in a bit quicker. His behavior so far is top class. He also looks physically fit. We also try to work with him to give him not overloading, but bit of informations what we want to do in several topics. So obviously he can't be there with 100% perfectly prepared, but I think under this circumstances he looks decent and is definitely also available for tomorrow.
And any other team news we should be aware of? I mean, Dan James' situation any clearer now in terms of being fit?
Much improved, so he's not far away from returning back to team training, but he will definitely miss out for this game. Jamie Shackleton was out with illness, has not trained with us yet. So we have one session this afternoon. We try to bring him back on the pitch, and then we'll see how his body reacts, if it's too soon for him to be re-involved or not. But this is more or less the only player who could possibly return.
Thank you.
Daniel, would you like to talk about the fixture list and how crazy it is? Is it in particular that Saturday, Tuesday, Friday stretch that you're looking at, or is it more around the cup?
Well, it's a difficult topic. You know my attitude that normally I don't complain about the load, and I always concentrate just on things that we can influence. And also, I don't like to speak about too much load and the players are tired. I always try to smile it away and tell you that the players rather play football and play games instead of being involved in training sessions. So I'm never too concerned about this topic. And I know it's also difficult topic because we all got the benefits from TV licenses, from broadcasters, because they bring also much money on the table, and I think we have to take this into account. But sometimes there's also a topic where I would think, okay, enough is enough, and it feels a bit like this when I think about what happens in terms of fixtures after the Chelsea game and around the game. I don't blame anyone because I think it's the 18th time so far that we are picked for TV game during the season, just in the league. So without the cup, it's crazy, and it's good because it means this club is attractive, this team is attractive, and everyone wants to see us playing football. So that's a great choice, and I love that the broadcasters are picking us. That's great, but normally it should also be a bit in the sense of fair play. And when I think what happens after the Chelsea game, we play on Wednesday late night kick-off away at Chelsea. So that means we are just back here at Leeds in the early hours of Thursday morning. Or if we sleep overnight at London, then just even the Thursday afternoon. And then the next game is on Saturday. And what happens? So we have to be there with the earliest possible kick-off at 12:30 next away game. feels also already strange. Then you were hoping for, come on, then move the next games perhaps even a bit further away. No, next game is then again on Tuesday, means just 2 days between the game. And then you think, okay, come on, then at least the next game on the weekend, from Saturday, come on, move it then perhaps to Sunday or whatever. What happens, they move it to Friday. So means it couldn't be worse. It's, by the way, a next away game. Means we have to play 4 games within 10 days. And I could still live with it if the second or third or fourth game is perhaps a cup game, because you could say it's our own mistake that we are so successful in the cup, but we start more or less this 4 games within 10 days with a cup game, and then there are 3 games in the league. So means we have 4 games within 10 days, 3 away games, by the way, earliest possible kickoff on Saturday. And this in the crunch time period of the season. And I would never complain if it's the same for all teams, because then it's fair. I would even like it, because my feeling is we are really fit and the players are ready to go. And I like when the going gets tough, but it feels just for us in this way. And it feels it's during the whole season, this terms of fixtures, and I think it's not in the sense of fair play, and it's not in the sense of the game should be played. Listen, I don't blame the broadcasters, not at all. So I like that they say, oh, Sheffield Wednesday away, great game, everyone wants to see this, no problem, we pick this. But then there must be an instance who judges also a bit the bigger picture, who then says, okay, come on, it's for Leeds, the load is incredible, then come on, let's not go for Friday evening, we choose this fixture, but then we go for the Sunday kickoff and we show this on TV. But to have this in this way feels ridiculous, that there is no instance who sees a bigger picture, because we always have this mental health awareness days, and we always were on a match day then this nice little colored stickers for well-being and health of players, of coaches, of staff members, but when it comes down to business, it doesn't matter. So, and this is where I'm struggling to understand this. So I'm fully aware of the necessities, and also full of respect for the broadcasters, and they have to do their job. But there must be an instance who sees a bigger picture. Yeah, we have the nice little stickers for fair play and whatever, and then during the crunch time period of the season, when each and every point counts, we have to play 4 games within 10 days with his travels, and no other teams in this league has this. So I'm not sure if this is really in the sense of fair play. I'm not sure if this is in the sense of the game, because we want to see the best players on the pitch, and we want to see good quality of the games. But if you play 4 games within 10 days, yeah, obviously we have to rotate a bit, and it's some of our best players, they can't always deliver. And if they are 4 times for 90 minutes or even longer on the pitch, because we have also the cup game, it means it's also difficult for them to always replicate their best possible performances. But we want to see proper football games, and not just that we survive anyhow without injuries. And really, I don't complain about myself or about my coaching stuff, because we're all living a privileged life, and we have a proper salary, and it's not too much load for us. So when we have some sleepless nights because we have to prepare, no problem at all. But it's also about the health of the players. It's not just about the players who have lots of salary or my coaching stuff, but we have so many staff members who have then during this time to work. When I think about our physios, for example, about the ground stuff, and to have this, it just feels unfair. And I rather speak about this before all this week's start, instead of during this week's I try to smile it away again and won't speak about being tired. But again, there must be someone who sees, and an instance who sees a bit the bigger picture, and sees that this is not in the sense of the game, this is not in the sense of well-being, of mental health, of the health of the players and the staff, and also not in the sense and the quality of fair play and the quality of the competition. I like that we are attractive as a club, but I think for the future ongoing, then we need to create an instance who also take this a bit into account and make some not smart decisions, but obvious decisions, and also decisions in the sense of the game.
Do you think that someone needs to also think about the fans? You know, you think about Leeds fans travelling to Bristol Friday night, Plymouth Tuesday, Swansea Tuesday, Plymouth Saturday morning.
Yes, I can't blame us for being successful and going through to the next round, and I also can't blame the draw. It would be much easier, for example, if we would have won the first game against Plymouth, or the draw would be a home game, so you can't blame anyone for this. But also to take this into account for our supporters, also then, if they want to support us, it's a great day for us at Chelsea, away Wednesday. Come on, why don't we give them at least a normal kick-off time on Saturday, or move this to Sunday and then the next fixture to Wednesday or whatever? Instead of they have to travel, they can't even have breakfast before they travel, because they have to be in the mood already at 12:30 or 12 o'clock to support their team for a football game. So it just feels crazy anyhow. And yes, definitely also topic for our supporters, because I think this game is played for supporters, and come on, make it also comfortable for them that it's possible to travel, that it's also possible to cheer your team at a proper time, and not if you return back on Thursday morning, you can't have as much holidays from work to follow us in order to do this, and then on Saturday again in a away game, again then an early kick-off. Again, I don't blame the broadcasters. We are happy that we have them, and we are happy that they love us so much and pick us always. That's great. But there must be an instance who take the well-being of the players, the health of the players, also the sense of the game, the fair play, and also the well-being and the wishes of the supporters into account when it comes to decisions to be there with the fixtures.
And just on another subject, Patrick talked about the horrific incident last season when supporters or someone turned up at his home after he missed a penalty. He talked about it on his podcast. Do you think that football has a concerning anger problem around the game?
Not more, I would say, than it was perhaps in earlier years. I would say it's always a bit difficult. Obviously, when there are also a bit more difficult days in the society, you also feel the mood also a bit during the football games. If I'm honest, so for that, I know. So in whole Europe, we're working through a bit strange times, and it also does something with the mood of the society, and you can sometimes then also feel this and this anger during football games. I'm always a bit in between to judge it, if I'm honest, because when you work in this business, you just can't take the positive sides and just the benefits. And we are all living a privileged life. We're living our dream. We are allowed to work in a business that we love. We all love playing football, and we're allowed to work in this business, and we are quite often in the spotlight, and we have good salaries and lead a privileged life. So I'm struggling during these tough times for the whole society also to complain about how difficult it is for football players. I think we're still having a wonderful life, and we just can't take the days when the sun is shining and everyone is singing our names. Also, sometimes you also have to handle the criticism, and when you sign a contract as a manager or football player or sporting director or person who works in this business, again, I use a saw from Germany. If you can't handle the heat, then don't work in the kitchen. So when you sign a contract, you have to know it's sometimes also tricky times, and you have to accept that there is also sometimes criticism that is also a bit over the line. So that's difficult. But in terms of what happened to Patrick, and when he spoke about this is also definitely something that is not acceptable at all. So as soon as it's then also like threatening the private life and the health of the players, the health of the family, and it affects the family, I think that's not acceptable at all. And then we have to use all the laws and all the authorities to make sure that this never happened. And I think we have to be unbelievably strict in order to judge this behavior. But in terms of being criticized, or there is also some negative comments on social media or something like this, I think we shouldn't be too sensitive, because we all take also the positive comments and like it when they sing our names. But there has to be a line, and once the line is crossed, I think then we all have to stick together and to stand together, and also this has to be judged pretty strict, and also strict within the rules. And something that has happened that was definitely not acceptable at all, and Patrick knows that we're all backing him.
It was really interesting hearing what you were saying about the broadcast schedule, but do you have any mechanism where you can say this to the broadcasters, or, for example, the EFL or the authorities? Because you hear a lot of managers talk about this, but it's always to the media, and to be quite honest, it doesn't seem to make any difference.
No, quite often I hear criticism from against the broadcasters and the media. I don't want to criticize the broadcasters and the media, because they are also part why there's also so much money in this game, and we all are living such a privileged life, and we can sign really good quality players, and the Premier League, for example, has developed into the best league in the world. So I think we have many beneficial rewards due to this. So, but there must be an instance who connects all this, and this is, I think, missing authority who sees a bit the bigger picture, because obviously you can give your thoughts to broadcasters, but it doesn't help. So it's more like they just judge one single game day and judge, okay, what is the most interesting game? Yes, and quite often it's a game of Leeds United. We like this, but the people who judge, and okay, on which day we will have this game, which game we will show on TV, they have to judge it also in their way that many supporters like it. So it's quite normal that they want us to play at Sheffield Wednesday on Friday. I don't blame them at all, but I think we need to create an instance who is then also taking this into account, and it's more like the connection between the clubs, between the thoughts of the clubs, between the wishes and the necessities of the broadcasters. And I think it's also the other way around, and also there could be some requests from broadcasters that could be taken perhaps even a bit more into account. I think it could be a win-win situation if we create an instance, perhaps also from former football players and managers who know about the necessities and what is important. Perhaps also from former people who are working for the broadcasters. I think to have more like a panel, an instance who judges a bit in the sense of the game and also sees the bigger picture, that would be beneficial, because just to give our thoughts to some people from the broadcaster doesn't help so far.
How do you stop the players thinking that this is a straightforward game tomorrow? Because clearly Rotherham have had a very difficult season, and what can you learn from the first game against them?
To speak about this, to judge, to just give the hint of the first fixture away at Rotherham, how difficult it was there. Also to speak about their starting lineup. It feels like their starting lineup has already 4,000 games on championship level in their CV. It's one of the most experienced sides in this league. Also to point on their last fixtures, they were there not with many wins, but with several draws, and the losses were quite often 1 goal, maximum 2 goals. It's not like they were blown out of the park. It was always a difficult game and a tight game, and they were also sometimes really unlucky to lose just with 1 goal. And also we know that we had also a tough week in terms of the load, and in this type of games you have to deliver, and you have to make sure that you win the points, and especially my experienced players will also, if it's not enough to point to these points, will also make sure that also our younger players are on it. It's sadly never a guarantee that we will win the 3 points tomorrow, but I think we are well aware and also well prepared that it will be a difficult game, and it has the same value like an away game at Leicester or home game against Ipswich, where we were capable to win all 3 points. It has the same value, and for that we have to be on it again.
It occurred to me that it's a long time since we've asked about Carl Darlow and his injury. How is Carl getting on, and is he close to come back?
Yes, much better. So I think latest news was that in about 2 weeks he can return back to team training. and then hopefully he's also pretty quick available for the games. Obviously he's doing a lot of fitness stuff, but right now he can also start a bit like to work with our goalkeeper coach Ed Wooten again, and then handling of the ball. I expect him to be back in team training in about 2 weeks, and then he's also back available for the games.
Hi Daniel. Obviously 49ers are in the Super Bowl this weekend. Everyone knows about the ownership links between the clubs, but is there any actual sporting link, any overlap there, any knowledge that you take from them or maybe they take from you that's of use?
Yes, first of all, fingers are crossed, and there are many messages who are flying around, and obviously we are hoping that they can do the big thing and then bring it over the line and can celebrate, because obviously it's a massive game for them, and also obviously we are concentrated here on football here in England, and but yes, it's also a big topic, and yes, our owners, they know also how you can be successful and what you have to do in order to be successful with a sport organization, with a club. Obviously, American football is something different to our proper European football. That's definitely for sure. But how to run a company, how to run a club, and to be successul, and also how to bring a winning mentality into this club. This is quite similar, I think. So it's always important to be open to learn also from other sports or from other business, and at each and every communication and conversation with intelligent people who know what is important to be successful in this world, also in the sports world, is also quite beneficial. And again, my fingers are also crossed. I believe in Brock Purdy that he will do a proper job and make sure that the 49ers can win the big game. Won't be easy. I think Taylor Swift is also on the other side supporting a bit. That's what I've heard. But I also have to say I rather listen to our supporters to sing the songs of Status Quo and Sophie Ellis-Bextor. So for that, I think we have also a great chance.
Are many of the players into NFL, or have you any particular fans of it in the dressing room?
Yes, they are a bit into it. So like all sportsmen, they are also interested in other sports. It's a bit difficult with the time difference, and I urge them also not to watch the games that late. But they are definitely allowed also to record it and to watch it back. Hopefully they sleep at nights. But yes, a few of them are really interested. Can't say they're really talented, so their feet are definitely better than they're throwing with their the American football with their hands and with their arms. But some of them are quite supportive, yes.
And just one last one on that topic, just on the specialist coaching elements that is part of NFL. Has that come into football, European football, a bit more? And do you think it will increase, like set piece coaches, things like that?
More and more, I think, like I mentioned, it's always important to be open to learn and also to take the positive things also from other sports. It makes no sense to be like stubborn. Okay, 30 years ago we've worked in a different way. We're not open for development. Like I mentioned before, if you have this attitude, you become a dinosaur, and then you're not good enough for the competition anymore. So it's always important. I think it's not to take. So I think it's important to take everything into account and to try to take bits and pieces, but also always to measure it on our sport, because you can't always do more or less the same things like you do, for example, in American football, in European football. So they have always this stop and go when they do their playings, and football is quite often fluent. You can bring this, for example, into some aspects of the game. Set pieces is also a bit like a stop and go. But obviously, so it will never be that we have a headset between the manager and my quarterback. For us, it would be perhaps a deep six on the pitch. And last recent games, Ilya Gruev East Purdue, and we speak about, okay, the ball is coming, what should I do, manager? So it will never be like this. So for that, I think it's always important to be a bit careful and to measure it on our necessities, but to be open for new developments and also to work with specialists in each and every department, to take also the data and statistics into account, how to improve. I think this is quite important if you want to be successful, not just today but also tomorrow. And we try to learn each and every day, and also to develop each and every day without forgetting where our roots are. And there are still some things that were important 30 years ago, and they will be also important in 30 years. But we are quite open.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Good.